So that shiny new game just came out, Infection Free Zone, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game for some first impressions. Keep in mind this is not a full review, this is a quick look at the game. I played the game for a little over 2 hours, so I'll show some footage of the game while describing it and giving a few thoughts on it. To start off, the game asks you if you'd like to use your location to play the game, and then it shows a future roadmap for the upcoming months before the final release. Back to the location thing, you can literally put in almost any location in the world and then play the game in that location. I did look up a town I used to live in, and sure enough, it was there. I just picked a random location in Poland to play the game though. After choosing a location, as well as 3 different difficulty sliders, I began the game. There's a cutscene explaining what's going on. It's called the Mad Virus. It's spread all over the world, making people vampire-like. Those who were immune to the virus hid underground. They waited until over the radio it said that the virus was in decline. The objective now is to go back to the surface and rebuild. I actually died the first time that I tried the game because I didn't quite understand everything. I had several groups I sent out to scavenge buildings, but I sent them all separately. Turns out that was not a great strategy, as people kept dying and then my base was attacked and no one was left to defend it. To begin with, you have a base of operations. Also, there is a transmission log on the bottom right that will pop up pretty frequently with information, and you can also make choices there as well. The whole time that I played, I followed the objectives on the top left. When there were no more objectives there, I just kept looting and upgrading. On the very bottom to the left, there are 3 tabs. The building tab is where you can select different things to build, like a watchtower, antenna, or farms, and so on, as well as turn buildings into other things like warehouses or living quarters. The axe symbol is used to send people out to do 3 different things: collect wood, metal, or bricks. The symbol with the people shows how many that you currently have, as well as the amount of people that have no task. If they all had a task to do, for example, then it would say 0 out of 40. Also on the top left, there is a beaker, and that's used when you turn a building into a research center. It took me a little while to figure out to click that, but it's highly useful. You can research other types of buildings that you can make there. For example, later on I researched and then made an arms factory that produces weapons and ammo. Then on the top of the screen and slightly to the right, you can speed up or pause time. I use that feature a lot, also highly useful. So this game doesn't really have a story or too much structure. You're more or less free to do what you please. I had a habit of sending all of my groups out either together to loot or at least in pairs. That way, if any infected show up, they could deal with it with no losses or minimal losses. You can also replace a dead squad member, but only if you have a free person available. Sometimes I had to remove them from other tasks to fill up a squad. Once I had a lot of buildings going at once, I'd always keep them staffed, like farms, warehouses, watchtowers, and so on. They will be attacked though, so be prepared to have a squad or 2 nearby to defend them. During the day, you're mostly safe. Not completely, but mostly. There's always a chance of infected inside a building you're looting though. At nighttime, the infected come out and roam, and usually attack. There's also other survivors that you can come across. Some can be recruited, so you have more people for tasks, and other people are hostile and will attack you. Each squad can only carry so many items, so when they're full, they will automatically return to the base to drop it off. If your squad has a vehicle though, then they can store items in that vehicle itself, and there's way more storage in a vehicle. Also, vehicles need gas to actually work. Oh, and buildings that are attacked can be damaged, so it's always best to repair the buildings and cars when you can. Eventually, after I had found 2 different vehicles, I sent out only those 2 squads at a time, as they could go really far and quicker, and the rest of the squads I just had at base protecting it. The 2 hours I played honestly went by really quickly. I was very much invested in this game, and it's pretty addicting to play. There's still a lot I want to do in this game, and I'm looking forward to it. I definitely like playing this game, though that's my personal opinion. Whether or not this is your type of game, I'll see you on the next one.